Get ready, go steady. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to another stimulating episode of Old Black Men Conversation. I am your ravaging co-host for the day, Brother David Harold Gunny III, aka Sweet Sunny D, aka Baker. You know, and some folks even call me the man. What's up?
What's up? That's a good intro. I'm Gary, and I'm sure you know who you are, so I'm going to give it back to David.
Yeah, one thing, I am close to 3 centuries. Well, maybe I'm 3 centuries. Well, maybe I'm 3/4 of a century old.
Yeah.
3/4. You're 75, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were 80.
And the one thing I have never, ever, ever done in those years is hold in my hand a pistol, a rifle, any kind of gun. I mean...
Oh, really? Dang, I just went shooting 2 weeks ago. Wow.
Except for playing cowboys and Indians when I was
Toy
growing up.
guns.
Other than that,
Yeah.
no. So it kind of bugs me quite a bit when I see all what I feel is senseless violence for no apparent reason. Well, you know what? You took my kids from me. And that pisses me off. So I'm going to kill everybody in the house, everybody in the neighborhood, everybody in the car. That kind of shit bugs me. I don't know about you, but it bugs me.
Yeah, it bugs me as a person who wants to believe they're a civilized human being, right? And try to teach people or try to treat people the way I think I want to be treated. I'm not anti-gun. I have a few, and the Second Amendment says I have the right to have a gun if I so choose to. What I'm against is the faction, the political faction that doesn't want people to have guns responsibly. They don't want a waiting time period, before you can buy a handgun. They don't want anybody to have mandatory training on how to use a gun, how to store a gun, how to keep a gun out of the hands of children in the household. So that's what bugs me. But if the bad guys have a gun, I feel like I have a right to have a gun to protect my neighborhood, my family, the people I care about. So I'm not anti-gun. I'm anti, why do you not want people to have a gun or use them responsibly?
That sounds totally crazy to me.
Okay.
Totally. Why would you want to have the power of God in your hand?
Okay, that's an interesting way of putting that. Why is it necessarily the power of God in my hand? Okay, let's say...
Who gives you the right to pull that trigger regardless of the circumstance?
I guess that is internal to me, how I feel at the time. If I feel like I have to pull the trigger, I guess I gave myself the right. But I would like to think I gave myself the right for the right reasons, I'm under attack, my family's under attack, my friends are under attack, my neighborhood's under attack.
When's the last time you were under attack?
From what?
From from someone that you felt the need to pull your gun out or your guns out and defend yourself?
This is a long time ago. I blame myself because I put my family in a situation where, because I had a gun, I felt like nothing was going to happen. I was almost wrong. But responsible person, just because you have a gun, you're not running around thinking, I'm going to have to shoot somebody. If you're really responsible, most people don't even know you're carrying, right? You're not running around. I got to run out to my car in my, excuse me. Oh, damn it. Can you, hello? Wait, CJ, could you,
What? Oh, Jesus.
we're right in the middle of a podcast. I'm doing a podcast.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't know? All right, bye. That's embarrassing.
Hey, it happens. It is.
So, I guess what gives me the right to pull the trigger, I will only really know that if I have to do that. Now, just because you don't carry with your finger on the trigger, right? You only, or with a bullet in the chamber. That's too many accidents happen. But if you feel like you must carry with the bullet in the chamber or your finger on the trigger, you might want to reassess how you're living.
I'm saying, what you need to go outside for if you have to have a gun, or even if it's just like outside your apartment, you think about like kids not going outside because it's dangerous and you need protection to go outside. Like that's an environmental
Hazard?
You know, how do you fix that?
In this country, I don't believe it's fixable because
Right.
of our love affair of the guns. I like guns, but is that hormonal? Is that a guy thing? I don't know, but I just like guns. But I also know I don't walk around advertising I have a gun. That's the last thing I want to have to do is use it. But if I have to use it, I will. Because in this country, I have the right to do that.
So y'all think that's and I think it's a very interesting topic as far as like, do you think that's cultural as far as like the Western world, like America, we love violence and other countries not so much, so they have less of it? Like, do you, I don't know the question I'm asking. Well, yeah, do you think that we just are overtly violent in this country? Just our nature?
I think some of our nature is overtly violent. Not all of us, because I think Europeans have a propensity to want to be violent because through history, violence has allowed them to conquer. Now, the flip side of that is, I think...
Filipino.
Nothing. He doesn't like the word flip.
Flip?
He said he thinks it's a racial slur. Well, no, I'm not saying he thinks.
What did I say?
It probably
I
is in a context, but...
What did I say that was... What did I say? I don't even... I guess, no, I...
Flip.
Flip.
So this is how he, basically, when I was young, he's been doing this since I was a child. Black person, nigga.
Yeah,
White person, cracker.
I see.
Filipino, flip. That's what he's equating it to.
I didn't even realize I said flip. If I said
No,
flip,
see, but that's the thing. That's the context. You're just talking about, flip that over.
Yeah.
Reverse it. Turn it.
Oh.
In his mind, it don't matter what your context is, you said the word.
Okay. So what we need to do one day, this will be fun for you guys, is to think of all of the slurs we can think of for every group of people.
That'll be on a bonus episode on our Patreon. Please come and subscribe.
Please subscribe to that. You might even throw some in there we haven't thought of.
You know what? I'm cutting this. I'm clipping this. This is the one that's going up. Yes. Join our Patreon because we're going to be talking crazy.
So, okay. Where did I apologize if I made you feel uncomfortable by using the verb flip to suggest changing the outlook or opinion or inlook.
Actually, it was a noun, not a verb, but
Flip?
Again, context doesn't matter on this side.
Okay.
You used it as a verb. He heard it as a noun.
As a noun, okay. I love it. Okay.
That was a great. I love that exchange though. They're just like it's a noun, not a verb. Hello. Duh.
Okay. Is Google or noun or verb?
Hey. Here's the irony. I'm about to Google.
Hey, why don't you Google it?
That's a cold ass question. I'm about to Google. Is Google a noun or a verb?
Oh.
Sorry. Are we conditioned to like violence? Is Google or be silly? That's I think.
Yeah. I think some of us are rolling the tape back, Walmart rollback days. Yes, we have too many guns in this country, and yes, we are too willing to use them. But what's the answer? I don't know the answer. Well, I guess there is an answer that works. Everybody drop a nuclear bomb on everybody, and the guns won't matter anymore.
well, why don't we look at those countries that have banned individuals having guns and see how they're doing?
Okay,
Why don't we look at countries?
okay. Which countries do you have in mind? Because that's a wide spectrum. So what
Well,
countries?
if it's a wide spectrum, that means that we are in the other spectrum.
Okay, if that's true, what?
So look at what they're doing. Why are they not in the same type of situation we're in? Why
Okay,
aren't they having mass shootings every other day, from grade schools to taverns to colleges to office buildings? Why?
is it possible they have them, but they just don't make the news? Kind of like our news. We only get to see what they want us to see.
Here, I'll give you. So, several countries have banned or severely restricted civilian access to firearms. Countries like, okay, listen, I went to public school, okay? Brunei, Cambodia, Comoros, yeah. East, okay, I haven't heard a lot of these. Oh, yeah, Eritrea, Guinea-Bissau, the Maldives, which I want to go there. Good, they ain't got no weapons. I've always wanted to go there. Marshall Islands, Nauru, North Korea, Palau, the Solomon Islands, Somalia.
Wait, did you say North Korea?
Yeah,
Ain't got no weapons?
yeah.
Oh, come on, man! A couple of missiles. Come on, Cliff. Give him a break.
Other nations such as Japan and Singapore have very restrictive laws. Yeah.
You mean personal weapons or?
Yeah, we're talking why Americans are so violent and guns and inherent violence
Because
and
they
all
got
of
the
that
right to
stuff.
bear arms. See?
What about the right to goat arms?
Cover him up. Oh, you wearing them there? Okay.
He got bear arms.
But
You want to get Cliff caught up?
oh shit!
The subject was guns versus I like guns, I don't like guns, and why do we need guns? And so now we morphed into why other countries don't shoot up schools or shoot up nightclubs or whatever.
Yeah,
They do a nightclub, but they don't do schools.
yeah. What's our infinity? And when I say our, I'm referring to just American white people.
Yeah.
Is that good?
It's like it depends on what he's about to say. Well, what is the American affinity with shooting up schools?
That's the thing.
Why is it? Because I'm sure angry teenagers are all over the earth.
Yes.
But why is it that schools, for some reason, are like a huge popular target in America? Do y'all think?
Well, before that, remember it was post offices?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they were able to track that down to shitty supervisors.
But former postal workers would come back,
Yeah.
and for a long time they were gruntled, but suddenly they're disgruntled, and then they just start. Is gruntled a word? I don't know. But I don't know what the deal is with schools, because these are children.
But it's children also shooting up the schools.
No, that's what I'm saying. These are children shooting other children.
Okay.
Because it started out the
I mean, so with that, I can see. So with the analogy with the postal worker, a disgruntled postal worker, you know, he been in there, he been going through it. They've been giving him
Right,
the blues. He
yeah.
comes back and lights that
Right.
bitch up.
Okay.
Okay, now I mean, I guess one could argue that where I don't know where school shootings quote kicked off in this country,
Right.
but Columbine, that particular
That was
them kids was in there and they just like they was going through it and getting
Right.
bid it up, and they came back and lit that bitch up, and then all of a sudden it just seemed like a
a normal thing. For
Yeah.
people that are unhappy.
I'm not in
Yeah.
any way, shape, form victim blaming. We're just having a conversation.
Yes.
Do we say people just be on bullshit and push people too far in this country? You think we like to press buttons and then be mad at the consequences? Or like, what is our problem?
The reason I brought up the postal workers is that is an example of mass shootings that suddenly these youngsters are, I don't know, emulating or whatever, because like when we was kids, we would, fight it out and go away or whatever, but,
And it's over.
yeah, and then teachers, there's been instances of teachers coming out to 4 flat tires.
Yeah.
And there have been instances of where, harmful yet harmless
Right.
retribution. We didn't say, oh, well, I didn't like this motherfucker in gym class, so I'm going to go shoot up the whole goddamn other school. I mean, the school in general. That's, I don't know.
I think what we don't have privilege to when these people do this, what's the backstory? Because I believe most of the time it starts at home, and it may have been growing and growing and growing until it reaches the boiling point. Because a lot of these shootings aren't like third world ghetto people. You chase it back, these people, their families got money. They come from means, but when they tried to ask their parents a question, they blew them off, or like, oh, here, go buy a Corvette or something, And so, what's the backstory?
Well, one thing that you mentioned, has there been many or any black people shooting up these schools and doing that stuff? I don't recall, but it's mostly, non-black people that are deciding, and people are thinking, oh, well, we the first ones to pull out guns. But, when you start talking about mass killings and everything, even serial killings,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not my folks.
Not people that look
Not
like me.
I can't recall, and there may have been, but I don't recall any mass shootings perpetrated by
No, I think when we hear about a shooting and it's a black person, and even if it was at a club or something,
But I mean,
that's different than these mass shootings.
That's
Because
what I'm
when we
saying.
talk about mass shootings, most of the time these motherfuckers, in some way, shape, or form, they have more than 2 weapons,
right,
and
they're
at least one of them is a machine gun.
and a well laid out plan of what they think they want to do,
Yeah.
etc. I mean, it's like when you know, you talk about like at a club or whatever. Okay, now you can see the motive, you can see the trigger. These 2 guys get in a fight, they both pull out guns, then people, innocent bystanders, get in the crossfire. But when they say, well, we don't know why he did it, or we've been looking, see, that's, I done brought, like you were saying, I done brought machine guns and extra ammunition and magazines and things. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get this person, I'm going to get this person, and then whoever else is in the vicinity gets gone too.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I mean, like at clubs and stuff, you know, and then you like when all these people or this person attacked a gay club,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, okay, well, this club here, you know, caters to mainly a gay audience or gay patrons,
Yeah.
and he's got some issue with that. But like I say, I mean, there's most of the time it's senseless, as they say. It's very senseless. It's a senseless killing, senseless mass killing, and why I want to kill a bunch of 5-year-olds? Why would I want to kill?
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, innocent people.
Well, like you said earlier, are we as a country violent? That's why I said we got to break it down.
Yeah.
Within the country, there's no we, right? Most of the violence in this country, whether you like it or not, starts with Europeans, people with European background.
Well, you know, I think there is a breakdown to how violence goes down and what we choose to acknowledge and highlight and put on the forefront. In that aspect, there is a we, because let's go racially. You know, everybody's got a violent thing in their culture, but I think it manifests differently. Now, you got you got gang members
Sure.
that are shooting each other.
Right.
That's one sort of violence that sometimes can spill over to a school. I mean, because I've seen it, but not, you know, there's decorum there, you know, but that's that set of violence. Then you have the kids who shoot up schools. There's that set of violence. You have the people who are not cops but really have that white power privilege thing in their head. You got that kind of violence. Then you have the police kind of violence. Then you have the responding to the police kind of violence.
Then you have hate crimes.
Yeah, so there's all of these different chasms of violence that I think make up the we. Now, why is it that way? I think one could say, oh, well, it's because of them, we're like this, and it's because of us, they're like that, and it's all finger pointing, and is that something that can even be solved?
Well, there's one thing that in America, guns are, I don't know, taken for granted, easily available. There's more guns in this country,
Yeah.
you know, available to regular citizens because of the right to bear arms or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
than any other country in the world.
Well, it's no secret. Americans, mostly white men, have a hard-on for a gun. There's no secret to that.
I know several that have tens of guns.
Yeah.
They're collectors.
Okay, do they have the right to have the guns? Because
That's
that's something
what
else
I'm saying.
we talked about.
They have the right to bear arms,
Yeah.
and they take that too far. But the thing is, regardless of whether they have the right or not, there's so many available.
Yeah.
And then there's so many that are super lethal in that we have weapons that were designed for war
Yeah.
available on
Yeah.
the street.
Yeah.
You don't need no AR-15 or no AK-47 to hunt.
Oh, I'm glad you threw in there to
Why
hunt
is it
for-
like that in this country and not other countries? Why?
Hard to say. I mean,
No, it's not. Because we have a propensity for violence and we want to kick each other's ass. We want
We-
to be number one.
but that happens.
As I heard on this podcast, they were talking, and
like it.
this lady, it was a relationship podcast, and this lady was asking why men da 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 da, and the guy talking to her said, "You want me to be honest with you?" He was like, "Because you love this shit."
Mm-hmm.
See, you say you want X, Y, Z in a man, but
Yeah.
this is what you do, because, and he say, and no disrespect, you're young, you're 20 something, you love the fuck shit. And hey, I'm not here to judge you. If you love, that's what you, but don't act like it is what it ain't. And I think that's America. America loves this shit. Football, MMA,
Yeah.
boxing, we love to see bloodshed
Violence,
as
yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when we watch things, we be like, man, I want to do, we watching MMA, like, I know that couldn't be me, but in my mind it can be. And then sometimes people take that shit too far. And then they start going out in the world thinking that that's where you get all the guns. And I'm like Rambo. I'm like, man, we love this shit. And I think that's what it is. And now, to go back to what I was saying in the relationship conversation, she can grow out of that. Us, I think it's too late. It's too late because violence been here since the Bible.
Well, yeah.
So all we can do at this point is protect ourselves.
But we descended in America from the Wild Wild West, and every dispute was settled. It's like this one guy punches this other guy, and the other guy gets up with a gun and shoots him. And they go, "Oh, that's self-defense," and they let that go. And no word about it. And so and it's kind of like that again, because people, like when we were kids, as we keep saying, when we were kids, we would the extreme would be throwing hands. We would be, trying to punch each other out and shit. And then the next thing you know, we both survive, regardless of our, black eyes or bloody noses or
Right.
whatever the hell. And then by the end of the week, we going like, oh, you going to this party or we going to, But now every time something happens to a person, their response is to pull out a weapon. Mostly guns, but I mean, people carry a bunch of different weapons.
Mostly guns.
But they're mostly guns.
That's the love affair with guns. And I think
Dude.
that's your question. Why do we have that love affair?
Yeah.
Let's look at who's in charge. Let's go back in history. Who's had the most guns, the biggest guns, and how they've traveled through every continent with a gun and have figured out, okay, I want this, I'm taking this because I have a gun. What you gonna do?
Okay, now, was it the British, right? The British that we was fighting over here back in the day? Okay, they came in, we almost fucked up. But they are colonizers. They were, you know what I'm saying? But now you go over to London, you can't have a gun. Now, how have they been able to quarrel that?
Even the police didn't carry guns.
So how did they go from sticking the world up
Exactly.
and be like, but we don't have guns? See, now how come we weren't able to pull it off?
Don't want to. This
Because-
country does
Not
want to.
oh, doesn't want to. Sorry.
Doesn't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
It's a different animal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a different animal. This over here is that over there.
Mm-hmm.
So the folks that came over here, that were sent over here,
A lot of them were criminals.
Yeah.
a lot were
Yeah.
criminals,
Mhm.
and a lot didn't know shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much made it up as they went.
Yeah.
And also, you have to remember, they were a monarchy. So what the king or the
True.
queen said
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
Real.
And there
Y'all
ain't
go out
no-
there,
you know,
plunder the
yeah.
world, but here,
But
hey,
here,
act
this is
right.
what, right, yeah, this is what we need, you know. And the whole thing is, we came over and we decided that, hey, a monarchy is not the way to go. But we went overboard with our freedoms.
Okay, new question.
I mean,
New question. Do you think this is a hard one to ask because of who's in office right now?
mm-hmm.
You need room?
Oh, thanks.
It's a hard one to ask because of who's in office. But do you think America would carry on better as a society under what we have with our freedoms, or under one person actually like dictate under a dictator?
If you're under a dictator, you have no choice.
Right. That's yes.
Right? I mean, you know, this guy, well, like Russia.
Okay, but-
like Russia.
But let me back
know.
up, because I think when we ask questions hypothetically, we tend to go toward the worst things and go from there. Fuck that orange motherfucker.
Hey.
We're not talking. He ain't here.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's say President Obama. Let's just say that's the time we're in. President Obama. If he were to somebody who you would deem has at the very least, common sense, to be dictating and making the rules for this country that we need to abide by, do you think that the country would be better off like that, or the way we are, where everybody makes their own rules?
Well, we decided that 535 people can dictate what the other 300 million do. That's the way our system is set up. So, as opposed to King Charles in
Yeah.
England, but
Cutting out all the middlemen. One person.
yes, that's what you had. I mean, you know, we said, okay, well, one person can't make this decision for the rest of us, so let's get representatives from all of the people.
I hear you. But we've done that, and
Yes.
we are here. So my question is, do you think we would have been better just having one person say, all right, enough of this, that's done?
Well, in theory, that's why this country went to war against England, because fuck you, we want to rule ourselves. So in theory,
So how have we fared doing that?
Okay at the beginning, but I think now it's just totally
okay in
fucked up.
theory.
In theory, it's great. It's like, okay, I want this, so I'll vote for this person, and this person will take my vote and our votes and recommendations back to the main group, you know. But the deal is, there was 13 colonies. Now there's 50 states and a lot and several territories and stuff, and it's hard to just say, okay, everybody agrees to this, send this to Washington or whatever. It's you can't. We're humans. We don't always agree on everything each other says.
That's why.
But other places do it.
Well, we see that
As far as we know. I mean,
as far as we know.
I mean, we don't know. It's like this is what they let out, and then they suppress the people who don't agree with it or whatever. So we think, oh well, that's the way it is. Just like when we were talking earlier, and you were reading off the list of countries that don't have guns, but you have North Korea on that list. So somebody is shooting missiles over the China Sea, and
Yeah.
somebody's shooting
Different
missiles.
context.
Yeah.
You know,
Different context.
Yeah, the context we're
Different
talking.
context.
Yeah, we were talking.
We're not talking about missiles and shit. We're talking about personal handguns.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
kind of a gateway drug.
all right. You mentioned like a monarch. So many of us are still believing in democracy because that's what we know. Despicable. Democracy doesn't work for him. He said it more than once. Despicable is right now doing what he said he's going to do. When he's challenged, he says, I don't feel like I have to follow the law. And then here's where he gets enabled by the Congress and the Supreme Court. They were saying, yeah, you're right. You don't have to follow the law. All the rest of us are believing that's how we work as a democracy. We follow the law. He's saying, I don't have to follow the law. And the Supreme Court says, yeah, we agree. You don't have to follow the law. Congress says, yeah, you just do whatever the fuck you want. So that's kind of the breakdown where we believe that we're still in a democratic society. Well, we're not. We have this wannabe dictator, and they've let him be a dictator. He's out of control. He's out of control. But, you know, we say there's one person. There's those who allow him to be who he is. So what do we do about that? So let me ask you a really way out left field hypothetical. Somebody comes into your house and, God forbid this doesn't happen, shoots up your family.
Nigga, that's me.
You know, God forbid. You got a chance, you see them on the street or whatever, or it goes to court and they get off. You see them on the street or something, do you feel some kind of way about, you took my family, I'm going to take you out? Or it's like, I mean, yeah, I don't like what you did, but I'm not going to shoot you or take you out like you took my family out.
That's a hard one for me to say, but I'm not I'm supposed to be a Christian. So at this point, I would say I would probably feel some type of way, but as far as revenge and shit,
Yeah,
no.
when you act on it. Okay, you can't help but feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
And in your mind, you're thinking of things, horrible things that should be done to this person by you or whatever. But the thing is, as you say, you weren't brought up like that. You weren't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a Christian, that's, you know, even though people will take that part of the Bible, eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Well, wait, that's out of context, you know. But the whole thing is, you know, that's a decision that each individual person that have been victimized like that has to make for themselves.
Right. And that's why I qualified it by saying,
Yeah.
that's within me. You asked how would I feel. That's what within me at that time. So that's all I can tell you. And then I guess when it's my time to account for it, then I will account for it. But right now, you know.
Yeah, well, I have a testimony.
Hey.
All right.
So, 2 years out of Franklin, an incident occurred with a family member over in Rainier Vista. I knew about it because they confided in me. I then found out by accident who the person was that inflicted was there in the church physically. I saw them, and I saw, anyway, I was not in a good space. So, I prayed about it. Then I took a course of action. It wasn't a good course of action for anybody, whether you be Christian or Muslim or whatever. It wasn't good. I think Jesus is that day. He never made me shed. And it was not anything. This person was wrong and paid for it.
Okay.
But it wasn't up to me. Well, it shouldn't have been up to me to punish them, to get revenge on them. But I felt guilty about it since that day.
How could you not feel something if you couldn't feel something about, like what you're sharing now? Then you're like these people that have no soul. They can walk in, they can shoot up a damn church and not feel anything. They have no soul. You're human. You have a soul. You're saying, no matter how heinous a crime you did, as a human, I can't see myself taking your life. It's kind of like this guy who's the president now. I was asked by somebody who's also a Christian if he was down and out, and could I pray for him? I said, no, I can't. And that's just me. I can't. Whatever bad happens to him, no, I can't wish him doesn't happen to him. So I would probably have to answer for those feelings that I have, but when the time comes, if I have to answer for it, I'll just have to answer for it.
Hey, as a Christian, in these days and times, there's a lot of times where you're put to similar tests, where you say, oh, I've had situations where things have happened to people very close to me, and they meaning the people that knew about it and didn't tell me about it because they were afraid of what I might do. So, it's in your case, you found out the perpetrator, and y'all was, by the time I found out what had gone on, this person was on the other side of the country or out of the country or whatever, but I mean, I'm glad that they didn't let me know so that I didn't have to, make that decision as to what I was going to do to this person or whatever, and as Christians or people who were raised around people who were Christians or what, some people are much more, not necessarily Christian, but I mean, some people follow Christian doctrines way, just kind of like, this is the way it is, and that, like they don't say, okay, I have the ability to think this out. I have the ability to cross-examine my cross-examination of myself.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So I mean, it puts you in a situation where you say, hey, I've been taught this. I've come up, in the Christian religion or whatever religion. So, to take a life or to screw up a life or to cause serious, yeah, hurt to another person goes against what I was taught.
That goes against what you were taught,
But
and or what's in your heart, or are they separate things?
but I mean, the thing is, the things in your heart are influenced by the things you are taught.
True.
So, from a little kid, we were going to church, and we were taught certain things that, okay, let God take care of it, blah blah blah. So, it's like Dave said, he prayed on it, and even praying on it and praying about it, that's still the it's different than what if you heard something totally different that made you extremely happy, you wouldn't necessarily. I know people who would say, "Oh, but I don't deserve this." Something really good that happens to them, and in their particular space, they're tripping because I don't deserve this. But I'm still questioning it, and this is something, a windfall prop anything. But you go, oh well, okay, these people here are not privy to what I've got, so there's cases where people question even good things that happen to them, let alone bad things.
Yeah, that's true.
And we pray on a lot of stuff because as a Christian, you're like, hey, this is a little bit too much for me so I'm going to pray over it, and I'm going to try and come up with a solution that doesn't make me feel like I'm feeling now.
So there's a lot in there to break down. So let me ask this real quick. The incident you went through, when you prayed on it, did you feel better right away, or did it take time for you to feel better and say, okay, I prayed over this, I can move on? Or what was your experience and how you felt after you prayed on it?
After I prayed on it, I still wasn't sure what my next step was. I wasn't sure. And it was probably a month later that I reconciled. And it was probably, for me, obviously not the best solution, but I was able to go and say, you ain't got to worry about this shit no more.
Said to this day, to look back on it, you still
Right.
feel a certain amount
But
of guilt.
that had nothing to do with what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to go and tell this person, you ain't got to worry about this shit no more.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean I didn't absolve myself.
So, okay, as a Christian, tell me why I'm wrong. And this is a serious question. When I said, like, you felt you're saying you prayed over it, you were able to move on. What I said earlier about Despicable, if anything bad happens to him, I'm okay with it. Why does that make me wrong? Because I'm not saying I'm a Christian. I believe strongly in things, but I take something from every belief, every religion, and try to figure out where I fit in. So what makes me wrong? The fact that I can't forgive him, or I don't really give a shit what happens to him.
That's basically a personal belief that you would have to deal with if you believed that it's wrong to wish bad things on other people, it's wrong to, you know,
Yeah, here's what I'm
You know?
saying is, I think for how we feel about people, I don't think we can ever truly express outwardly to any other person what we truly feel. You can say all the words, but I don't think you can ever express it. So that's in your heart thing. So in your heart, all right, shut your ass up. In your heart, if you have the look on him in particular of, I don't care if something bad happens, not my problem, whatever, that's one thing. But if you have in your heart, I hope something happens to him, I can't wait until, I feel like that's a different feeling. Now, even if you never outwardly express those are your inner feelings and thoughts. That honestly, that's whoever you have to reckon with at the end of time.
Yeah.
That's between y'all. So to your question, I don't think you're necessarily wrong, especially if you haven't expressed anything. If you sincerely feel if something happens to him, it ain't my problem, whatever. Okay, you're not wrong for that. You don't know him. But if you're like, man, I hope something happens to that motherfucker. Okay, your heart says you are on the side of, I want him to downfall. Now, is that wrong? I don't know. That ain't for us to judge. But that would be more of a conversation for whoever you got to reckon with. Because they might not say, what did you do? They might say, what did you feel? What did you really think? So, I think that's an inner thing. I don't think that's anything anybody can answer. Was I wrong? Am I wrong? And on a completely unchristian level, I don't think people are wrong to feel their feelings, but that does not make what they feel always plausible to the situation.
There was a lot of people that I interacted with, ran into, heard about, whatever, that was saying things like, "Oh, I'm sorry that motherfucker missed." When the assassination attempt, they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that kid missed." Right? Now, that's a sentiment that a lot of people shared.
I was one of them.
And actually,
Yeah.
and actually thought that, me, I was kind of like, I'm sorry that our country, our society has gotten to where people actually think like that against, like one person in particular. It's like, okay, yeah, a person that got shot but didn't die, and even though you really didn't care for that person, you still could say that same thing. I'm sorry that some bitch missed. That is, that's the state of the society that we live in. People gonna say what they're gonna say. They're gonna think what they're gonna think. We can't control that.
No, but we do have. God, this can carry on.
Yeah. We got about 6 minutes.
Oh, hell, I'm gonna need more time. Okay, so, what is the difference between God? I leave it in God's hands, whatever happens, versus God gave me free will. Because I've seen this before with another Christian. What's the difference between it's under God's control versus, well, God gave you free will. So when you make the decision and when you put it in God's hands, let me ask this another way. Why put so much pressure on God when things aren't going well?
That's how we have war. That's why we have war. Because of that question and there not being a real answer. Because anybody can say, I prayed and God told me. Now, when you have a society that's built on, we believe if God tells you that's what it's going to be, well then, there's nefarious people out there that will play on that, who don't give a damn about God in any way, but will say, well, God said we need that over there, so we have to pull our resources and go over there and take it because that's God's will. That's how wars started, right there.
Manifest destiny.
Now, how do you tangibly prove God told me to do this? Some might say, well, the proof is the person did it and it worked. So obviously that was God's plan. Now, you ask somebody, oh, you believe God's plan will always work the way it's supposed to? Because if you have that mindset, whatever happens was God's plan, well then can't nobody tell you nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's just like the wars that are going on now.
It's
A
all
lot of it, religion is involved.
Well, I guess I'm going to need more time because what you just said,
Yeah.
how do you know it was God? Well, somebody said it, and I did it, and it worked. Well, science, they call that science, right? You have something, and you test it, and it works. That's science. So,
See, now what do you tell the person who also tests it and it doesn't work for them?
you tell them keep trying until it works.
But see, now what if it doesn't?
You keep trying. Like
So okay, while you're trying, until you get that result again,
Yeah.
is it science or God up in that in between time?
I believe it could be both.
Okay.
You know, it just depends on how you want it to lead. I think it's a balance board. This is just me, y'all. Just hate me, right? Don't hate these guys. Just hate me. But I'm being straight up. This is how I feel. I believe there's a thin line between the tipping point. Somebody drops $1. Somebody you see is out of it, raggedy looking. They drop $1. You pick it up and hand it back to them because you need $1, or I'm taking this $1. I mean, those kind of little decisions are. Am I making any sense? I'm not sure.
Well, look, that's kind of like, remember that game called Scruples?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that puts a lot of situations, and what would you do if?
Oh,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
right.
So, it's like, hey, if this rich guy dropped $1, would you give it back to him or whatever? Because, well, he's rich, he don't need it.
Yeah.
Or if you see this homeless person or, that's begging, and they somehow lose $1, and then you decide, well, because he looks like he needs it, I'll give it back.
Yeah.
Scruples. I mean, because I've watched money fall out of people's pockets, right? And if I'm there and I'm going, hey, excuse me, did you drop that?
Right.
I'm not going to pick it up or touch it up. Go ahead, did you drop that?
Right.
And that person go, oh, thank you so much because I was doing, and then so I mean, these things happen in life, and the decision is up to you. Whether you want to bring God into it or not, you are the person who eventually does whatever act was done.
Right.
So,
And that's why I said.
Or you don't do it and you wait for somebody else to do it.
right,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so many different answers.
Right.
So,
So, wow, we went from A to Z again.
like we always do, I guess.
Yeah.
So we stayed on violence. We stayed on violence
But
as
we
a whole,
did,
though.
yeah.
So this was a good episode. Tell your friends about it. Check us out.
Oh, tell them. You can join our Patreon.
Enjoy our Patreon.
Oh, we have a
Say it loud. Oh, wait, see. Hold on. Patreon.com Say It Loud.
Patreons.com, say it loud.
/
Something like that. They'll get it.
Yes, right.
All right.
Peace.
And that's right. And as he said, if you liked it, tell everybody you know. If you didn't, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
David Dudley, philosopher.
Yeah,
The
your
real
personal
Cliff
street
Barnes.
philosopher. Yeah.
We are out.
Be well, stay safe.